And as guys especially lose the hairline, you see that they become more personable. They become more people oriented, more, you know, even the cliche where, you know, as you get older, you walk into the store and you start talking to everybody. Hey, how you doing? You know, my son, he plays soccer. Yeah, he's really good. And then the kid's like, oh God, shut up, shut up. Because our foreheads tend to go up, we become more relational, you know.
Personable.
And
That's
that's the
interesting.
dharma, is we grow older, we're supposed to be teaching the younger generation, you know, sharing our wisdom, right? Right. So when we're young, we have the lower forehead. But see, I think you've always had, you know, the beautiful high
I
people.
have always had a bit. I mean, they teased me. They called me names. My family. They would thump the forehead.
Well, the
Yeah,
best name is the five head. That's
the
it's not a
five
forehead,
head,
it's a five.
5 fingers on your head. You're a five head.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I've
That
always had a big head.
it's yeah, so it's a great quality. And
Well, thank you, Simon. That's my best news all day.
all right, there you go. You also see it in the hand on the heart line. Some people have a heart line that has let me see. You want to share it? You want to share your yeah. Yeah. So oh, cool. So you okay, bring it back. So when you have a branch on one of the lines, you have a nice branch on the headline actually, which means you're going to be an author or a writer. You've yeah. Are you writing? Are you working on it?
It's been an ongoing life project. It's
Mhm.
buried deep in my soul, but I'm trying to get it out.
It's
I have to
coming.
survive and be an engineer, so
Right.
or
You have an
something.
interesting hand for an engineer. That's true. You're a different kind of engineer. Yeah.
I gotta eat.
That's right.
So
Anyway, for
oh,
we have to look at your chart to see when the book is coming, but you're definitely a writer, and that's I think that's a lifelong passion. Yeah.
yeah, I went to school for journalism, ended up in engineering.
Mm. Well, anyway, what I was going to say, I just noticed the headline. When you have a branch on the heart line, or even a triple branch, some people will have a three prong. Um, that indicates. Anyway, I'm going too deep into stuff. You know what? Never mind all that. Let's get back to our topic. But cool. Thank you for sharing your
My big forehead.
your head and your headline on your hand. Interesting.
Thank you, Simon.
Deep thinker. Okay. I think everybody's pretty much here, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, no, a few people are still waiting. Sorry about that. I got carried away here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So everybody just joining us now missed our forehead conversation, and you have to get the recording, I guess. Uh, all right. So I think that's pretty. I think it's time to start. So let's do a quick prayer, and then I'm going to ask Zach about exactly how to. Oh wow, look at this, the rundown. Oh my God. Oh, you stole BitBoy's thing. Is did you just screenshot that, or how did you get that, Zach?
I got a script, man. Welcome to Crypto Questions Answered. My name is Zach. Every Friday, sometimes on this channel, I show you how to make money using astrology and cryptocurrency. So if you like money, cryptocurrency, and astrology, make sure to become a lifetime member.
Wow, boom. Make sure to like and subscribe. That's right. You know, I never asked for that. So is this is BitBoy crypto? Okay, yeah. But well, you got to make it your own. You got to make, right? You got to make it
I had 15
astrological.
minutes, man. Give me a break.
I had 15 minutes and 3 cups of coffee. Come on, come on.
No coffee.
No coffee.
Just
Okay.
pranayama.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Okay, let's do our prayers and we'll get started here. Om Gananaham Tvam Ganapati Gung Hamamahim Priyanaham Tva Priyapati Gung Hamamahim Nidhinaham Tva Nidhipati Gung Hamamahe Vasumama Aham Ajani Garbadhama Tvamajasi Garbadham Om Gananaham Tva Ganapatingum Havamahi. Priyanaham Tva Priyapatingum Havamahi. Nidhinaham Tva Nidhipatingum Havamahi Vasumama. Aham Ajani Garbadhama Tvamajasi Garbadham. Ungananaham Tva Ganapatingum Havamahi. Priyanaham Tva Priyapatingum Havamahi. Nidhinaham Tva Nidhipatingum Havamahi Vasumama. Aham Ajani Garbadhama Tvamajasi Garbadham. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Om Hring Shri Hring Kling Vitteshwaraya Namaha. Om Shri Om Hring Shri Hring Kling Vitteshwaraya Namaha. Om Shri Om Hring Shri Hring Kling Vitteshwaraya Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. All right, if this is your first time joining us, I've talked about why we do mantra sound invocation in the beginning. I think I talked about it in the last class. I'm not going to go into that. But welcome everyone. And today we're gonna focus on your questions. I'm gonna do about maybe 20 minutes of talking here at the beginning, and then we're gonna open it up so that we can find out what the heck is going on in the markets right now, right? All right, I'm gonna turn my video off and share the screen. And here we go. So yeah, let's say you have a portfolio. Let's say you have 100,000, just for argument's sake, for example's sake. It's all about perspective, isn't it? Because the same amount, the same spot looks very different when you're on your way up versus when you're on your way down. Even when you take a hike, you know, when you're climbing up and you pass a certain spot, you feel differently when you pass it on the way up than you do on the way down. When it comes to your portfolio, let's say you have 100K and you didn't before, you started with 10K and now you passed 100K and you're like, woohoo, I'm heading to 7 figures. But then the market retraces and you go, and you pass 100K on the way down and you go, oh no, oh my God, it's horrible. How can this be? So what's the moral or the verdict here? The moral or the verdict is at any given time, you have to always do one of two things. One is take some profits. So just skim some cream off the top. If your coin or token, you know, I don't know what you're in. Some of you do these small ICOs. Some of you are just holding Bitcoin. Whatever it is, when Bitcoin hits 50 grand, maybe take a little bit. When it hits 60 grand, maybe take a little bit. That's number one. Number two, and this is a recommendation I've heard from crypto pros, and I follow it myself, is always keep at least 25% of your portfolio in a stable coin, in Tether or USDC. Why, you may ask? Well, number one, it allows you, now if you don't know what I'm talking about, USDC or Tether are basically dollars. They're a digital version of a dollar, so they don't increase or decrease in value. They keep their value. But you keep them in the Celsius wallet or in the Voyager wallet or somewhere else, or crypto.com wallet, where you're going to earn over 10%. Right now, I think it's earning 11, 12%. On some coins, you can earn 17. But on just USDC, there it is. Tether is earning you 13% if you're a non-US citizen, 11 if you're US. That means 25% of your portfolio is earning 13% yield, and it's safe, meaning it's not subject to going up or down. So now you have that 25%, so that when the market does go down, you can take advantage. You can buy in, right? I just took some money out of my Celsius account, but I am going to miss the days when I get my payments. This is my reward. This is I just hit it last week, $1,000 a week in interest, which was the first time, and probably be the last time, because I took a bunch of money out from there. But the point is, that can pay your bills, right? Just the interest that you earn on your crypto holdings can be enough to pay your rent, your bills, and all of that stuff. So, and one of the highest yields is on the USDC. So anyway, the point of this is, look, don't freak out. This is a good lesson. The lesson being, take some profits, always have some digital cash on hand. And if you didn't, don't let the whales, now that the market has come down 20%, right, on the altcoins, some altcoins 30%, Bitcoin's down over 10%. Now that that's happened, well, don't sell now. Now that that's happened, hold on. Don't let the whales push you out of the water, meaning the whale swimming in the same ocean as you. Don't let them splash you and force you out. Because in a month or two, when this market is roaring back up, you're going to wish you didn't get out. Does this make sense, guys? There's still a lot of people coming in, but
Yes,
Yes, it makes sense.
okay.
absolutely.
Question, did it take me a long time to get my funds out of Celsius? No, it takes about 15 minutes. As long as you've set up your wallets. So from Celsius, I have Celsius going to my Coinbase. And I've set that up. And the cool thing about Celsius is they only allow you one address per coin. The second cool thing about Celsius is they pay all of your transaction fees. So what I do, let's say I have $5,000 in something, in Bitcoin, and I want to send it to my Coinbase account, and then from Coinbase, I can deposit it into my bank account. Okay? That's the simplest way. The first thing I do is I send $10. When $10 shows up in my Coinbase account, now I know that that address is good to go, right? It is, you know, that it works, right? So once that works, then I could withdraw 5,000, the full amount or whatever. And then I know that'll go into my Coinbase account. So the reason they only have one address that is whitelisted is so that you don't make mistakes. And so that hackers can't come in and, send your money to their address. There's only one address, the one you approved. So I always do a test when I take out something, and I've been doing this a lot lately. I've been taking out, when I take out funds from any address, I always do a test transaction first. So what if it costs me $10? So what? Better that than being sorry about, that I lost $10,000 or whatever by sending to the wrong address. So that's how I do it. You don't have to do it like that. And I appreciate that, Celsius whitelists your addresses. Is there a question? Let me mute you guys then. Please mute yourselves when you come in. Thanks. Actually, you are muted when you come in, but some of you unmute yourselves for some reason. Yeah. Okay. There's a question about the prayer. So, yes, we could talk about that real quick. So the prayer in the beginning is Om Shrim. Shrim is the bija, the seed syllable. If you if you're a pitta dosha, that's a good seed syllable for you. If you have a lot of pitta, it's also a good seed syllable for Lakshmi, for wealth. Then Om Hrim Shrim Hrim Klim, and that covers all three aspects of the goddess. Also covers Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So this is secretly a mantra that balances your Ayurvedic doshas. I'm passing on some secrets here straight from Dr. Vasant Lad. Zach, you'll back me up on this, right?
Yep.
So Shrim, Hrim, and Klim are three seed syllables, one each for Vata. So Shrim for Pitta, Hrim for Vata, and Klim for Kapha. And so when you do this mantra, you're cleaning the doshas at a very subtle level. And you're also invoking the three forms of the divine goddess, who is the goddess of Maya, the goddess who of mundane reality, the thing of the elements that make up your body. So then we say Vitteshwaraya Namaha. Vitta means wealth, means possessions, means food, means the things that continue to prosper this body and you're the elements of this body. Vitta Ishvara. Ishvara means the Lord. Vitta Ishvara becomes Vitteshvara in Sanskrit because of a little vowel change. Vitta Ishvara becomes Vitteshvara. Not because of a Sanskrit rule, because that's how we talk. And Sanskrit sees the way we talk. So if I tell you, say, Vitta Ishvara, Vitta Ishvara, Vitteshvara, 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 we end up saying Vitteshvara, right? So Sanskrit says, oh, people talk like that, so we should put that in our language. So when and e come together, they become a, Vitteshvara. Aya at the end directs the whole mantra into a specific point. It's called the dative case, which sends that mantra to out there, and then it can rebound back to you. You don't keep it inside. When you say Aya, it sends it. So Om Vitteshwaraya Namaha. Okay? So that's the mantra. Vitta Ishvara Aya Vitteshwaraya. Om Shrim Om Hrim Shrim Hrim Klim Vitteshwaraya Namaha. So it's a mantra for prosperity and clearing the elemental obstacles to your prosperity, right? Clearing the things, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the doshas. The doshas are obstacles, vitiating factors. Literally, a dosha is dosham karane yad dushyati tad doshaha. That which causes harm is a dosha, so a vitiating factor. So yeah. Okay, be careful what you ask for. So, okay. So that's the prayer. And look, this is just as important as doing your research on tokens, is being in a place where when you see a good opportunity, you can act on it. You're clean, you're clear, you're not too hyped up, too tired. You're just boom. And you see it and you go, yes, I'm going to get that. I'm going to take action. Last little slide here. So my little talk may go more than 20 minutes, may go 30 minutes, but I promise we will get to your questions here. The last slide here is for the astrologers. There is a technique. Yeah, so Hotaji, that is a very good question. Please, if I don't get to that, please remind me. I'm looking at the chat here. That's a great question.
Thank you.
The last slide here is for the astrologers. Keep track of your yogi and avayogi. These are planets in your horoscope that travel through your chart. Now, as you know, when you were born, the sky didn't stop for you, right, to touch your feet. Maybe for the Buddha, but not for you and me, right? The sky kept turning, the planet kept turning, the sun apparently kept revolving around the earth, and so forth. So your horoscope is just a snapshot the moment you were born. A transit is a real life, real time following what's happening in the sky relative to your snapshot, to that snapshot of you. So it's like looking at a real life picture of you versus when you were a baby, and you can see how, you evolve. Well, anyway, everyone has a planet called a yogi. Now, it has nothing to do with yoga or twisting your limbs. Your yogi is the planet that gives you what you want in life. It's the planet that nourishes you, and it's usually related to prosperity. The avayogi is the opposite of the yogi. It's the planet that tends to block your prosperity, to give you obstacles to getting what you want. Now, you can know what your yogi and avayogi are by looking at this thing right here. It says so in this case, the yogi here is Mercury. So you can know by looking at your chart. Anyway, I won't go into that. So when the yogi is transiting your ascendant, that is generally a good time for you. When the avayogi is transiting your ascendant, that's generally not a good time. So be careful with finances. Be careful with, that's a time when you're going to have to give some money back. And just understand it. Okay, maybe it's a good time for me to donate. Maybe this is a good time for me to pay some bills, pay some credit cards, pay my mortgage, because that's you taking charge and spending money that, needs to be spent. Maybe I should pay back my sister, where I borrowed money from her 3 years ago and haven't paid her back. That's a proactive way of using the avayogi transit, primarily over your ascendant, but also secondarily over moon or your sun. Okay? So just a little tip for you astrologers. I won't belabor this point, but Atmakaraka has nothing to do with this. Yes, of course it can be. Yogi or avayogi can be Atmakaraka. And it's still the yogi or the avayogi. Atmakaraka is a totally different thing. It has nothing to do with this system. Yeah, so it's like saying, can your son who goes to Harvard also be a soccer player? Sure, they can be a soccer player. But what we're talking about is what school they go to right now, right? The two are not related. Okay. So if the avayogi is the lord of your ascendant, did that create some problems for you? Yes. And yeah, so if you're using the Lucky Times app, I think we haven't programmed this. That's why I'm bringing it up to you, the astrologers. This is not programmed into the Lucky Times app. Look, we did the best we could. There's still a lot of techniques that we left out, a lot of techniques that probably maybe we could take out. But overall, I think the app works well. Because I get the testimonials, right? I get emails from you guys who have used it, and some people have done very well. It's not a fail-safe. I always say the Lucky Times will boost your luck 10 to 20%. That's it. But sometimes that's all you need, right? All right. So if the Avayoga planet by transit is in the 6th, 8th, or 12th house, that's actually good. That means that your expenses are being kept down. If your Avayoga planet is transiting your ascendant or your 10th house, then you're going to see setbacks in those areas. That's a very basic thing. All right, now everybody's asking about this. All right, so if your Ava Yoga is Jupiter and it's in your ascendant, transiting your ascendant, what does that mean? Well, it means you're going to gain weight, Jupiter, and you may not be happy about it because it's your Ava Yogi. You know, both things will happen. Jupiter is a benefic, so you'll feel good about it, but you may, may experience some setbacks to prosperity during that time, but still feel good about it. All right. So that's, guys, this is pretty basic. This is like engineering. If the Ava Yogi and the Yogi are together, then you're going to get some good and some bad. It's not rocket science. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of intricacies. So, yeah, so astrology is a lot like cryptocurrency because astrology is a science/art that so many people have contributed to over time. And in that way, it's a lot like the sciences. So I want you to think about this. Michael Saylor said something very interesting. He said, Bitcoin is finally engineering and science has come into the monetary policy. And when science first started being applied to health, our lifespan grew from 40 years on average. Now it's over 70 years. How? Food preservation, right? Antibiotics, all the advances of medical science. When science was applied to communication, we got the gramophone, 8-track cassette player, CD, and then your wireless, what you call it, iTunes and all that. When science was applied to transportation, you got the boat, the train, the car, then the Tesla. The idea being that when scientists collaborate or when people collaborate with a scientific mindset, they publish a paper. They say, look, I think I invented this thing called internal combustion engine. And then other people look at that and go, wow, that is amazing. Here's how we can make it better. I would add a radiator to it so it doesn't overheat. And then a few years later, someone else goes, well, it has that, but it needs this. And then people add on and add on. This is exactly what's happening with cryptocurrency, guys. This original invention of the blockchain, of Bitcoin, solving the problem of the double spend, that's Bitcoin. Since Bitcoin, so many brilliant minds have come and said, that's great, but it's really slow. Let's do this. Boom, Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum is great, but now that doesn't work. Let's do this. And then you have forks of forks of forks. And the innovation is so fast because it's open source, it's treated like a science. So all of this is coming to financial policy. The bank's financial policy as it was before Bitcoin was basically the same for the last several hundred years. There's been very little innovation. The blockchain and crypto is finally science being applied to finance. So the reason I'm saying this is the brightest minds moving into this, the brightest minds investing billions of dollars into it, this is the future. And we are here still at the beginning of it. So when we see pullbacks like this, 20, 30%, please understand that you have a big picture. Like when you freak out, always pull back. Don't freak out, pull out. See the big picture and go, okay, Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of this stuff. Maybe I should hold on to it, right? Probably those guys are smarter than me. Yes, it sucks to see your portfolio go down. Some of you are seeing your portfolio go down even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's crazy, right? I know some of you who started with 10,000, now you have over 100,000. Some of you started with 50,000, now you have over 500,000. when you see your portfolio go down by tens of thousands of dollars, it's scary as hell. But pull back. The big picture is this space is constantly improving. And if we pick the winners of this space as best we can, which are the blue chips, your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, your Polkadot, your Cardano, you know, the big four, and then, you know, whichever other ones are really solid projects. This is what we talk about. This is what this whole class is about. When you've got your money in them, you can, you know, kind of relax. All right. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense. Okay. So, all right. Let me just go over, switch gears here. I'm going to go over a site. This is a tool for you guys called Token Metrics. They do tremendous research into what are the really useful projects. So when I just said, hey, when you invest in the winning projects, well, these guys do the research. They test to see if their programs work. They're a bunch of engineers, they're a bunch of scientists or you know, money experts, and they go in and they see, is this protocol actually, does it pass the muster? Does it pass muster? All right. And they publish their findings every week. Some weeks they don't find anything. And I'm just going to share with you this week what they found. So Dan, who's been here for a while now, he's been big on Injective, right? You probably got into Injective when it was $2-3, right? Probably very early. This is a protocol that has gone up 300%, which is pretty good. But it's a solid protocol. So anything that passes muster with, by the way, that word muster, it has to do with army, when you have to line up and you passing the test, basically. We're not talking about mustard, Dijon mustard. Anyway, if this passes the test with token metrics, then you know at least it's a sound protocol. Now, it doesn't mean it's gonna, you know, because a lot of times the smartest and most talented, say, singers aren't, you know, necessarily the pop stars. The pop stars are the ones who have hype behind them. But still, this Injective, even during down times, is going to do okay because it's a solid protocol. So INJ is one of these recommended by Token Metrics. The next is Terra. Terra, powering the innovation of money. You could see both of these have already done very, very well. Is this Terra Luna or Terra? This is something else, I think. It's not Terra Luna. Okay, I'll include a link to this. You guys can see this in after today's class. Umbrella Network, which we've talked about a couple of classes ago. And Rarible, which I've also discussed. This is one that I think is going to continue to grow because of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. All right, so these are the ones reviewed in the token metrics. So it's good. It's like having your nerdy friends go over, or it's like having your lawyer go over the terms of an agreement. It's good to have that backup. And if you don't know what NFTs are basically it's called non-fungible tokens. Again, we discussed this in last week's class, but they're going crazy right now. NFTs are pieces of art or something that can be digitized and made unique so that it has a signature. And so you can see this guy sold 1.4 million in 7 minutes of his artwork. You can also do it with music. You can NFT your music. So a lot of musicians, like I write songs and stuff, and you know, it's hard to get royalties, but you can make your song into an NFT, and there's a way that you can collect royalties and you incentivize. So for example, I know this seems like I'm going off topic, but NFTs are a huge part of crypto right now, and they're going to continue to grow. If I have a song that I that I've made, I can sell, say, 50% of the royalty rights as an NFT. That means that, let's say I sell it for $10,000. So whoever buys that NFT now is incentivized to get people to listen to it, so that every time they listen, he gets paid a royalty and I get paid a royalty. So it's like people pay me to promote my song, and in return they get a cut of the royalties. So NFTs can be, I know this sounds a little complex, but NFTs can be designed in a way so that you create a rare or a scarce item that you can then make money off of, whether it's a work of art or a piece of real estate. It's like timeshare. You can own a piece of a place as an NFT and so forth. So NFT is a big part of the market, and some of the ways to get into it are through this Rarible, owning this Rarible, RIRI, owning Engine Coin, owning Ethereum also gives you exposure to the NFT market. All right, so let's see, questions. All right, I think that's mostly what it is. Oh, I do want to cover the chart for what's happening right now. We already talked about Indian government and crypto 2 classes ago. The summary is that it's going to continue this way. The big picture is this. I think Modi and the government as a whole in 2 years, I think 2 to 2.5 years, will do a complete 180. And instead of trying to ban it and kill cryptos, they'll be, oh, this is the best thing, and they'll find a way to make it, to use it, and they'll be the big advocates of it. But it's going to take a couple years. And as far as, are they going to ban it? Well, they can't ban it. They can impose penalties on their own citizens for using it, but they can't ban it. Nobody can ban it.
So
Okay.
last time, so in 2019, they had a bill which practically, if you even utter a word crypto, it's punishable. It's some to the extent. This time they haven't released bill, so nobody knows what exactly. I mean, since Parliament is going to be in session in 3-4 days from now, so nobody knows what exactly they have in their table right now. But yeah, there have been a lot of rumors that they might ban it in a sense that you cannot hold it even. That was like 2019 statement. So even holding crypto will be punishable. So that's the concern there. So yeah,
Well, you can hold it. Nobody knows what you're holding in your wallet. You just can't trade it. You can't buy it from an exchange that is regulated, that they have connection to. If you have 50 Bitcoin in your little hard drive, how do they know that you have that? They don't know.
Yes, if somebody had bought it from any of the exchanges here, so they do a KYC, so probably they'll come to know.
Yeah, if there's KYC, then yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think it's a non-starter for me. I mean, look at Ripple. Ripple got thrown off, XRP got thrown off a bunch of exchanges, huge lawsuits, and its price doubled. It was like 20, 30 cents. Now it's 50 cents. You can't stop this. This is like trying to say, well, one country is going to ban antibiotics because they think, there's whatever, that they're bad for. Okay, well, you can try, but the rest of the world's going to continue to use them, and soon it'll catch up that, hey, you better either get on board or, you're going to be a third world country. All right. Someone is confused about the time of this call. The time is always 12 p.m. Arizona time. Now, when the time zones change, your time will change. So when there's daylight savings time, it will be 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Arizona never changes. So it's always 12 p.m. Unless you know, I have to move it, and then I'll let you know, like, hey guys, I'm running late. We're gonna start late, but okay. Reality cards and NFT based prediction market. Yeah, that's very interesting for astrologers. I'm gonna save this chat. Yeah, and some people like Miami is going to start paying officials with Bitcoin. New Zealand is paying people with crypto. Some nations are going ahead. You know, some nations are going to want to ban it. When China, which has utter control, right, of its infrastructure and people and all that, they couldn't ban it. So that's I have a really good Siddhi, which whatever I say, the opposite happens. So I have to be careful what I say. But yeah, no, I think this is just something you're going to have to weather. Like we in the United States, when we elect someone that we don't like, you just have to wait 4 years and hope it gets better. You know, you're going to have to weather this storm, but it will turn around 180 degrees. 180 degrees. India will be the foremost people pushing Bitcoin and the blockchain, cryptos. But it's going to take 2 to 2.5 years. Yeah, but Tulji, you're in Miami and they're installing Bitcoin ATMs everywhere. Sure. All right. All right. So let's go to the chart real quick. I do want to share the chart for this chart that I pulled February 21st. It was actually the night of the February the 20th and right past midnight. And I was thinking, well, so at some point before September, because I think September, my goal was before September or around September to sort of pull out some of my crypto. And this question just came to me, and both Nadia and I looked at it. And this is the chart. Now, those of you who aren't astrologers, I'll just walk you through what this says. The question was, will the crypto market crash before September of this year? And unfortunately, I was astonished. The answer is a clear yes. And so then the next question is, well, wait a minute. Well, when is this going to happen? And let me see if this is the right. Actually, I think it was the day before, because I kind of played around with the timing of this. Sorry, 1 second. I think it was the day before that I asked this. Anyway, if you're not part of our WhatsApp group, please join, because I went onto the WhatsApp and said, guys, I just pulled this chart. I don't want to scare you, but this shows that we're likely to have a correction soon, probably within this week, maybe possibly in March. So here's what the chart shows. It shows a couple of really bad, like clear indicators. So the answer is clearly a yes, there is going to be a recession. First of all, the star Zuban el Genubi is on the ascendant, which is the star of debts having to be paid. Okay, that's right at 21 degrees Libra. I have a free YouTube video on this. The marker stars of Vishaka Nakshatra. Okay, that by itself, okay, may be bad, but then we have an exalted malefic Ketu in the second house, not good. Then we have the ruler of the second house at 29 degrees, about to fall into the 8th house of debt, loss, hardship. Then we have the ruler of the ascendant at 29 degrees, about to go into the house where he will be combust by the sun. This is a horrible chart. Okay. But we like that because it clearly gives the answer. Then the next question is, what is our time frame? Okay, and again, for those of you non-astrologers, just bear with us, but I want to, walk everyone through the process. Time frame is indicated by taking the indicator planets, the planets that indicate the thing that's going to happen, and seeing what kind of sign they sit in. In this case, they're in a movable sign, which is the fastest time frame. Okay. then you also look at which house they sit in. Both of them are in an angular house, which is again the fastest time frame. And I'm looking at this, and I looked at Nadia, and I'm like, a day? No, it can't be a day. It's probably a week. And we're like, yeah, okay, it's a week. Well, the next day, the market crashed. So this is a case of me not believing the chart or not being able to fathom that, hey, maybe this is about to happen. So, okay, so the market crashed. Now, look, the bad news is this. So here's what all this astrology is for. This Mars, which is now moved into Taurus, into the 8th house, is going to take a while to work his way out, guys. When I watched some YouTube videos, people were like, oh, this is totally normal. It's just going to bounce back. I'm like, I don't think so. So that's Mars. Venus, the ruler of the ascendant, is moving into combustion, deeper and deeper into combustion. I know this is not good news, but I have to report what I see. Now, in 7 days, or 8 days rather, 8 days, Venus will connect the sun. So there could be a pump in about 8 days from the 20th, so around the 28th. So last day of the month or the 1st of March. But I don't think it's a sustainable thing. I think we're going to be in this for at least another few weeks, at least another 2 weeks. Okay, which means, well, it means whatever it means to you, but I think we're not going to fully recover from this crash, and it is, I'm calling it a crash, for some time. I mean, at least 2 weeks. The good news is that as we've looked at Bitcoin and we've looked at other projects, the summer looks amazing. June, July looks, I think, mostly positive. There are a couple little things there, but so we've got some, there's going to be some choppy water, okay, this spring. I mean, this March, this month. If we can get through it and don't let the whales push you out of the ocean, then I think this summer we're going to come back to our regular programming. All right, so that's the general message just from this prashna. So yeah, so
It's a good thing, right? If the market crash, we can scoop more.
yeah, so now look, if you're an optimist and you look at this, yes, you can scoop more. And if you always keep 25% of your stash in a stable coin, right, in basically digital dollars, sitting there earning 13% for you, then you can always come in and buy things at a discount. But the good news is things haven't fallen that low. Fortunate. Okay, Simon. Me and I'm telling you, I say something, the exact opposite will happen when I don't pay attention.
Simon,
Mm-hmm.
On that chart in the first house, Mars, when it goes into the next house, isn't that the second house, not the 8th house?
No, this is the 8th house. Yeah. So in Vedic no.
Okay, go ahead.
In Vedic astrology, this is the ascendant, the first house here.
Okay.
And this diamond is always the ascendant. It's like in the old-timey Western astrology. If you look at Western astrology charts, sometimes they're figured like this, because they used to draw them square, in Western astrology. So this is the ascendant. Therefore, the number indicates Aries. This is Taurus. The numbers indicate the signs, not the houses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a free video on that called Decoding Your Life Map with Vedic Astrology. It's on YouTube. It was $100. People used to pay for it. I made it free for everybody. I strongly recommend it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. All right.
So Simon, so if Mars is the one that's driving the price of Bitcoin, so what happens when Mars conjuncts Rahu in a few weeks? What do you expect?
It's a good question. Now, look, some other astrologers who do mundane astrology, someone in our WhatsApp mentioned Sam Jeppy. He's looked at when Mars Rahu are conjunct in Taurus last time, and we had not good things, right? We had wars or whatever happening. I haven't looked at that. I don't know anything about that. And so that's where, again, this is why astrology is like science. You have different people contributing, different papers, different ideas, and it all makes it better. If that's the case, it's not a good combination. Mars Rahu conjunction is difficult to deal with. It's like having a hyperactive child who is also just got into your Starbucks coffee. And that energy needs to be let out somehow. It can be destructive if not. Right?
Simon,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna suggest that when Mars and Rahu are conjunct and it's in the sign of Taurus, and as Taurus represents the bull, wouldn't it indicate like bull energy and bull markets?
It can give, but a bull is, think about a bull. It likes to buck. It likes to change directions. I know we use that word for, for the positive market, but Mars Rahu is a bucking bull. So it can be choppy. It can be big upward movement and then big down and big up and big down like that. Yes, this is also the year of the ox, right? I'm not convinced. I'm not placing any bets. Like I'm not waiting for that conjunction to put my, to buy the coins that I want to buy. And what I suggest, and again, it's not financial advice or anything. Oh, hold on, I got to mute you though. A lot of noise behind you. I'm not suggesting or anything, but is to just dollar cost average right now. A little bit in a little bit, because we know this tunnel, and this is going to be a tunnel, will eventually come out to the light. And eventually could mean end of March. So it could mean another month. I think another couple weeks at least. So, and look, this is consistent with the Bitcoin chart that I think that you in fact showed us, which, let's see, Bitcoin, which shows that Bitcoin just went into an 8th house period. And when we looked at this, right, remember when we looked at this, we said 3 things. The first is Bitcoin just went into a Venus period February 3rd. That, like literally a day or two after, was the announcement that Tesla bought Bitcoin, and it shot up. Why? Well, Venus is in Danishta. It's, it creates some kind of yoga with Saturn here. So there were some good things about this. But the bad thing is, yes, it's in the 8th house of the horoscope. It's in the worst house, aspected by a malefic. So what I said then, and I still stick to it, is that Venus overall could be a very good period, but that it's going to have dramatic dips due to scandal, due to maybe tax reasons, due to, hacks or failures. Like 8th house is unpredictable stuff. So, and if, those of you doing KP, you'll see that Rahu even has casts its 12th aspect on Venus. So there is an element of that as well. That I won't go into that here, but so yeah, being in the 8th house, this is going to be huge volatility. It can be an opportunity to make tremendous amounts of money, but you could also lose everything. So you got to be careful. I think overall it should be positive, but with, those massive corrections as well. All right, let's see other questions. All right, there's one more chart. This was asked of Nadia about the coin VeChain. So let me just show you that chart, then we'll go to your questions directly. This was the Prashna, will VeChain go to $2 in 2021? Okay, I'll spare you the analysis. I think the short answer is VeChain is going to do well. It may, I don't think it's going to get, I don't think so, because that's a huge, see, I think, how much is VeChain now? Like 5 cents? It would have to 40x. Is it about 5 cents? Let me see. 4 cents. Okay, let's say it's 5 cents. It would have to 40x. That's 4,000% increase to get to $2. I don't think the chart is quite that extraordinary. See, for a huge result, the chart has to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yes. But the chart is positive. So my take on this question, and this may be useful for you guys, those of you who hold VeChain, we've talked about VeChain, VET. Okay, this token that is a secures. Hold on one sec. Okay. Sorry, just interesting. Well, that's an omen. I just got a, just got an interesting omen. Look, I think VeChain will reach $1. All right, I'm making that prediction. I think VeChain, which is 4 cents now, has a potential to get to $1. I do that based on this chart. Now the question was, will it reach $2? I don't think $2. I don't think it's quite that strong of a chart, but it is generally a good chart. The ascendant being hasta, which means getting the thing that you want, the thing put in your hand, a connection between the ruler of the ascendant and the moon, which is very positive. And anyway, there's some good things happening here. So my answer to this question is, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb. Guys, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I shoot for 70%. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. Accuracy, I should say. But I'm going to predict, I think VeChain will hit $1 this year, which partly because VeChain has not had its parabolic run. I think a lot of people have been waiting on this one. And it hasn't really done much, hasn't done anything. VeChain has been 2 cents for the longest time, and now it's 4 cents. Whoop-de-doo, it's 100% gain. That's a Tuesday in cryptocurrency, right? In the stock market, people would be super amazed, but all right.
Yeah, Simon, if I may add,
Yes, please.
yeah, the VeChain is way, and Rahu, as we have seen, it's Rahu just passed when it passed Voyager. After 2 signs, it really took off when it was. So VeChain is way again in Taurus, and Rahu is just passed through it. So then it has.
But get this, it is VE, right? But how do we pronounce it? We also say VeChain.
Yeah.
So it's also VI, and Rahu is, I think he's either there now or about to go.
Yeah. Rahu's at 21 right now. So so once it crosses that, it should go. And also the supply chain thing is going to, if there is any disruption in this Mars thing, supply chain is definitely a big thing, because VeChain is the #1 blockchain for supply chain. And if worldwide there is an issue of supply chain, then that might really go up. So I think there is a sure potential. Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys heard it here first. Sandeep G. So VeChain, I think before the end of the year hits $1. So some of you have asked me what coin. I don't look at coins on my own, because when an astrologer asks a question for themselves, their accuracy isn't, you can't do that too often. It has to be a burning question. But when you guys ask, it is my obligation to look at the chart. When it's a genuine question, when it's well formed, and there is focus and real intent behind it, then that question produces a chart that really tells us something. So there's a prediction: VeChain to $1 before the end of the year, hopefully, and it's 4 cents now. So again, this is an opportunity. Things are low right now. You put a couple $100 in that and forget about it, or whatever. Again, not financial advice, but Sandeepji, you like VeChain, right?
Yeah, and also I'm also going back to earlier, in the earlier days of July and August when you saw VeChain. You said that VeChain is good, and your prediction was right, and you said it would go up and then it will go down. But we did some comparison of VeChain Silver, so you were very optimistic. This was in your July August time frame when we had. So that's when I looked into VeChain. I got it at 21 and it went down all the way to 10 cents. I mean, around, I mean, 0.01, it was 0.02, it went down all the way to 0.01, and then it stayed there. And then now it's gone from 0.01 in November, and it went all the way to 0.06. So it's gone up 6 times, and now again, it's come down to 0.04. And it's something behaving very similarly. Voyager was behaving the same. For Voyager, for a long time, went from this was in October, November. It was in 0.01, went to 0.024, and then again came down to 0.01, and then at 0.114, and then afterwards just went up to 50 cents, and then immediately to $1. And so I think that's where it is. Some supply chain
we've seen this game.
Trigger,
I think what's Sandeepji, what I hear you saying is we've seen this game before, right? We've seen this before. We saw it with Cell Token. We saw it with Voyager. My gosh, Voyager was what, 4 cents when I first picked some up, and then it went to 8. Then it came back down. It was 8 cents when I left on vacation this last November, and I said, you guys should buy this. It's 8 cents. It's a bargain. Then it went up to 19 cents. I picked some up then because anyway, the point is they will do this. They'll kind of stick in a zone until their moment comes. So I think VeChain's moment hasn't hit yet. And Rumeshji, thank you for correcting us. When I'm talking my math, sometimes not so good. But yes, at 4 cents, it'll be a 25x if it gets to $1. Hey, that's okay. We'll take that, right? That's not so bad.
And the same Kusuma, Kusuma was cool. And again, Rahu was in Gemini. After it left Gemini, Kusuma is, you spoke about it at $11, then I bought it at 14, and then now it's around 256. Yeah. And when Rahu passed through it, the real jump was, when Rahu passed through it in April, Kusuma was around $1 or $3. And then after it passed and went off to when it came to Taurus, that's when it really pumped. So it's again depends on the project also, but that's how it is.
And that's so back to this thing that I said, look, find the good projects, because when Rahu or planets pass over those projects, those sounds, their charts, they will test them. They will say, okay, are you, ready for the job? And if the project is solid, it's a well-built, has good people, a good team, then they're going to respond and say, yes, we're ready. And then as Rahu moves away, as Saturn moves away, then they start exploding. Same with Holo, HOT. HOT, I first noticed it and started talking about it when Saturn was transiting. This was in January. So I bought some. It went up, I think, 60%. It did pretty well. And then when Saturn left, it exploded. So HOT is doing very well right now. I don't know exactly where it is. But so the point being, when the stress, these planets create stress on a project. But if it's a good project, it'll react positively to the stress. So over the last 30 days, HOT has tripled. Not bad. Okay. It's down today. Holo hot. So, and again, that's one we mentioned a few weeks back because of the transits, because of these influences. So what we're saying now is this V over the next few months is going to be tested by Rahu. It's being tested actually right now. Rahu is in the sound V. So as Rahu leaves, we should see a boom, right? Because all of the behind the scenes stuff is happening now. The changes in this company are happening. And when Rahu leaves, they'll either lead it to explode or it'll capitulate. And then, okay, well, it'll probably stay the same. Its price will not move much. but I'm expecting, well, who knows? We'll see. That's what the chart says. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just trying to read the chart. How long after Rahu passes does the sound pump? That's a good question. Voyager is still pumping. Rahu was in the Vol sound a couple months ago, right? Sandeep, when was Rahu there last? Let's see.
I think it started, Rahu, Wo, it started in September because Wo is the last, Wo is around 27 degrees to, I think it's 26 to 40 to this. So Wo,
Yeah.
it just started from September to October, it was there. So
Let's see when it
whenever
left.
it was there, yeah.
I want to
I
see
think it
when it
left in
left.
December. I think it left in December, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, it left right at the end of November, December. So look, it took some time. This is not, and again, Rahu is a shadow. Like when exactly does a shadow leave? There's some, it's not an exact, shadow is not an exact line. And again, for this stuff, sometimes I like the true node, believe it or not. So let's take a look at the true node here. Yeah, well, this shows that it left earlier. So yeah, end of November. But, and I don't know when, I don't remember when Voyager started moving. In fact, let's go to Voyager's chart. We can do a real case example
Yeah,
here.
Voyager started moving on Jan 4th. I'll
On
tell you, I
January
got back
4th.
to my vacation and I realized I hardly accumulated. And I was kidding myself, of course. One gets greedy. Jan 4th, so that's, you can look at it and
Yep,
Jan
you're
4th.
absolutely right. There it is, January 4th. Oh yeah. So you can see, well, this shows 15 cents. So, okay, we're going to assume that that's what it was. 15, 15, 15, and then boom, it jumps to 20 cents on the 7th. Yep. So it started moving right around the 4th. Yep. And hasn't stopped since then. Here it took a break. It stayed at $1 for a while. Boom. Here's another step. Stayed at the $2 range for a while. Boom. Here's another step. Stayed at the $3 range. Boom. $6 range. And now it's in that $6 range. So we still think this has a lot of room to go. It's at least a $10 coin, I think. What do you think, Sandeep?
I think it should do well. I mean, I have no predictions, but I think it
Okay.
should do well because it's I mean, the thing is, the news which we got, and you've been talking about, Simon, because that's why, I mean, Simon's been talking about, he introduced Celsius and Voyager. So anybody who is new, Simon has been God for me, at least in crypto, because he, whenever he talks about a project, I go and investigate. And Voyager, he's been talking about it from October, and we've been doing various prashnas, and then we're looking at the team. We looked at the team. If you go back to all the videos, because if you're a lifetime member, those who have not, I really recommend you all becoming a lifetime. In October, we talked about Voyager, getting the partnership in Europe, and then doing really well. Voyager really went up because of the user experience of the really great team. So I think what we're trying to say is that even VET also has a strong team, and they've got good partnerships. Louis Vuitton, it's like there is a lot of fraud. If say you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, and how do you know it is is original? Or there are different use cases in supply chain, and VeChain is one of the best in the business. It really went down. If you see, there was a hack around a year and a half back, and that's when it went down. If you look at the historical analysis of VeChain, so VeChain has been probably at, if you look at the 2-year chart, I think it was much more higher. If you look at the all-time, so this one was probably at, it was much higher than before. I mean, now it's gone higher, but probably if you, in 2018, I think it was really high. It really went down from its all-time high. I think it went down 80%, and now, of course, it's in the upswing.
Okay.
So that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So this is one that we like. This is a takeaway from today. So all right, let's get some of your questions now. Yeah, Voyager has been best investment so far. I agree. It's been my best investment too. It was Celsius. Celsius is number 2 for me. And the thing about Voyager, we've done a lot of charts on it, and all the charts, the most recent chart showed a pump, big pump in 3 units of time. Now, we thought it was 3 months, and I'm still sticking to that, 3 months. I think there's going to be a big news about Voyager, but it moved exactly 3 weeks, I think, later. So again, the timing, guys, is a little bit difficult to peg down in astrology. Way back in July when we first started these classes, we did a chart. What's going to happen to Bitcoin, and will it hit 17,000? And I looked at it. Nadia looked at it. She said yes, and she was right. I said no, but January, February, it's going to explode, right? So I was wrong about the 17. I said I think it's going to get really close, but not quite. Well, it went over. But January, February, it exploded. And so the big picture sometimes is easier to see than the little minute things. Well, when's the next dip? Or, should I buy now? Okay, if you look at the big picture, and Anita G, and I touch the feet of people who actually listen to what I was saying. Anita G, yesterday you told me, you're like, oh, you said it'd go up. And you want to tell the story about the car, Anita, real quick?
Which car?
Well,
Oh,
that you told me that
yeah,
your husband wanted to buy you a
right.
car.
So in November, my husband wanted to buy me a car, and I said, "Don't buy the car. I don't need it. And can you give me this money for the 2 bitcoins? I will triple and give it to you for the car, and I'll keep the principal." And he didn't believe it, and he still insisted to buy the car. I was like, "Fine, whatever. I'll just deal with it." And now he's kicking his foot. Is like, "I should have given you the money to buy the bitcoin," and it was 17,000 at that time.
Yeah. So anyway, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. But I think, so in terms of timing, when exactly is it going to pop? Well, the question was for this year. So I think this year we're going to see a dollar VeChain, hopefully cross.
And also, VeChain,
We'll see.
Simon, the chart you pulled it, I just saw it. The yogi is sun, and the yogi point is in Virgo. So when the sun moves into the Virgo and the Virgo is ascendant, I think that's the time the VeChain is going to hit all-time
Ooh,
high.
let's take a look. I wanna, this is good. See, I learned from you guys. Okay, Yogi Point is in Virgo. That's right. So when the sun goes into Virgo, which is about 6.5 months
Yeah.
from now.
And the Mercury is duplicate yogi. So Mercury would be around that time also.
Right. You're
So
absolutely right.
right.
Okay. So as per Anita G's prediction, and by the way, this is sound principles. Okay. She sees that in about 6.5 months from now. So that is, let's say March, April, May, June, July, August. So mid-September, she's seeing a pump in VeChain. Now, it doesn't mean nothing will happen until then, but that's one,
It looks like that way.
that looks interesting. Okay. I'm gonna buy up a little. I have a little bit. I think I'll get a little more just now, just to kind of hold it. Again, this is why you want to have 25% of your funds on the sidelines when you see opportunities. You don't want to be fully jammed in at any given time into a project. All right. So now, okay, there are a couple of people who are new. If you're absolutely new, if you don't know, go to danteachescrypto.com. This is Rob. Dan stands for Digital Asset News. It's not for the name of the guy. His name is Rob. He has a wonderful, wonderful free tutorials, how to get into crypto, which wallets to get, how to buy the coins, very step-by-step, very methodical, and all free. He's doing a great service for people. danteachescrypto.com. It's definitely worth spending a couple hours there. For some reason, it's not loading. So, okay, we're not going to load it. So that'll answer all of those questions. In our WhatsApp group, some of you are working with beginners. There is a beginners group or a Telegram group. Just thank you for doing that. And if you're a beginner, just send a text in the WhatsApp group. Say, hey, can I get some help? Is there a beginners group? And you'll be guided. Okay. When it comes to questions, I want your questions to be succinct, precise, and asking about a specific thing. You can't say, well, what do you think about Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and this other one? What do you think about them? Sorry, but that's a shit question, right? For an astrologer, it's the worst thing you want to hear. Because there's no specificity, there's no burning desire to know, there's no focus to the question. So I'll say I think they're nice, and that'll be the end of it. Okay. All right, so now the specific questions are coming. So will Venus do 10x in 3 months? Wow. 10x from here would be, will it reach $600? Okay. Will XVS Venus, hold on a second, 1 second. Bum, ba-da, bum, bum. Just mute you guys here. Okay, thank you. Please mute yourselves when you're, okay, thank you. Will Venus hit, how much? Oh, will Venus 10x in next 3 months? Okay. You guys come up with the weirdest questions. All right. Well, I mean, just based on this, the answer is no. Next question. Okay. Please ask like reasonable questions. I know a lot of you guys are like, will this coin that's half of a cent be worth $100 this year? And the answer has always been no. And if that's the type of investing you're looking for, you're looking to hit a home run every time. I mean, yeah, that's fun to look at, but most of the time the answer is going to be no. Okay. Nadia, are you here? Nadia's
Sandra,
not
did
here.
we ever go over Dogecoin chart or anything? Or
We have never formally done a Dogecoin. My standing opinion, and it's still the same, is that everyone should have some Doge as an insurance. Just as a FUD insurance, meaning that, you know, if everything hits the fan and Dogecoin goes up, and it's kind of like a counterbalance to all the reasonable things, to everything I just talked about, token metrics, right? Making sure that the project is sound and all of that. Well, Doge has none of that. It's all hype, but a really cool, the best kind of hype and popularity, because it's cool, it's adorable. Even the name, Doggy Coin, it's the best. So have we done a chart on it? No. Should you own it? I think so. I think everybody should have a little bit, like just a tiny 0.5% of your reserves. Unless it's a bad sound for you, that's right. Do you want, oh, hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna get Nadia to come over here and look at these as well. All right, so here's a question. Will Celsius reach $20 this year? That's a specific question. Will Celsius reach the goal? All right. So because we already have a prashna here and not much is going to change, Ravi, I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 36.
15.
Number 8, you said?
Number 15, 15, 15.
15. Okay. Did you say
Yeah.
8 first?
No, I said 15 only.
Oh, 15. I heard 8. Okay. All right. All right. No, come on over here. Well, yes, I think maybe. 1 second. Let's see. I'm having Nadia. No, Nadia has joined us. Okay, so the number is 15, which is the end of Leo. So we're going to read what that part of the zodiac. So in Vedic astrology, like in Western, we have the decanates, but they're a little more lively. They're imbued with myth. And so the decanate of the third of the number 15 is a man with a bear's face who acts like a monkey, long beard, curly hair, holding a stick in one hand and carrying meat in the other. So it's an animal draken, a very lively, physically inclined, powerful, intimidating. Has to do with Hanuman. Hanuman ji can fly, curly hair, bearded, holding a weapon,
Wise,
and wise, carrying sustenance, fish, fruit. Anyway,
assertive, competitive, ambitious.
yeah, this is a good prashna. So will Celsius reach $20 this year?
Mars is dignified. They're being Digbala.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Jogi and the duplicate Jogi. Here, Mars is the Jogi, aspecting the ascendant. The Avayogi is Ketu, duplicate Yogi is Mercury. The Jogi point is in Virgo. Okay. Guys, what do you think? Those of you who are astrologers, this is a valid question.
Yeah, I think it'll make money when Mercury reaches to Virgo. That's a duplicate yogi.
Uh-huh.
And then
So
Mars
that's
will take a while, they'll get there.
Mars will take a while to get there. But in general, is the question, do we think it's a yes or a no? And it's a good question. We do we have any ittasala between the first and the second? No. First and the 11th? No. I want to say yes. Naomi says yes. Vishal says yes. I want to say yes. You know what? I'm going to do something.
I think it's a no at first and then a yes. It's not gonna be right away because the Lagna Lord's gonna go to the eighth house first. Then we have the second and the 11th Lord is in the 6th right now, and then it's gonna be combust. Then it's gonna go through debilitation. Then it's finally gonna be out of it. So not anytime soon, but a yes. That's what I would say.
So it's an eventual yes. The question was though, will it? And by the way, this is not the question up here. It's will Celsius hit $20 this year? That's the question. Will Celsius hit $20 this year? Now, yes, Moon is on Magha, but Moon is the Lord of the 12th house. But check this out, guys. I'm going to do something interesting here. I'm going to also look at the ascendant of this chart, and because it also happens to be the number 8, and that was the number that came right into my mind. I thought you said number 8. So this puts us back into the same Venus chart. So will Celsius reach 20? So look, Vishalji is in. He's yes. Naomi says yes.
If it's a yes to me, it's gonna be way towards the end of the year.
Yeah, will Celsius reach 20? You know, guys, I would love to say yes. I would love this to be. Look at this exact Moon-Venus opposition, by the way. The Lord of the 10th, Lord of the 12th. I'm going to say I don't know. And I think that's the tack I'm going to take here. I like Celsius. I think they're coming out with some announcements very soon. And so it's going to go up. Will it get to 20? Could be. My first instinct was this is a yes, but I can't back it up with 100%. Like some charts we look at and we go, oh my God, this is a yes, this is a winner. Remember the PPay chart and the Pala chart that we looked at a few weeks back? Those are super strong. The Voyager chart we looked at a few weeks ago, super strong. This one is, I want it to be stronger. For me to put myself on the line and go, absolutely yes. Like the V-chain chart. I like the V-chain chart as reaching $1. So I'm gonna, sorry guys, I have to. Yeah. Why so much about Cell and Voyager? Well, these are the coins that have 20x our portfolios. That's why. If you guys haven't been here, it's definitely understandable why we're focusing on why it's so, it makes sense why you're frustrated. So let's look at some other coins. I'm going to say I don't know. Okay. Dan, what's your question? Ooh, Phantasma.
I would love to know if Ethereum is going to go back to off by March 26th.
Back to what?
All-time high by March 26th.
Okay. Let's take a look. Mm-hmm.
I heard him say, I would like to know.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say that?
AI. Mm-hmm.
Is it the Taurus?
Yep. AI is here. Oof. Yeah. Okay.
Go to Taurus.
All right. We'll go rotate here. There you go.
What degrees I?
640 to 10 degrees.
Okay. I like that the yogi is in the Lagna. Can people hear me?
Yes, people can hear you. Can you guys hear Nadia? Speak up.
I like that the yogi is in the Lagna.
We can hear you.
This looks like a yes.
Yeah, everything is pretty dignified.
By March 26th, that means in less than a month. So, yeah, again, these last two charts, I'm not gonna hazard. I'm trying to play it safe as I get older. Well, because people are making this decisions based on this, so I'm not going to give you my wholehearted yay or nay unless I am fully behind it. This looks like a yes to me. So that would mean it'd have to reach how much? It'd have to go up about $500 in value. I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's not out of reach. But am I giving this 100% seal of approval? What do you think, Nadia? Is it a yes for you?
I'm just noticing that the yogi in this chart that keeps coming up for all the charts, by the way, is basically on the algol right now. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to say it's a yes, definitely.
Umeshji
because,
stepping in and making an executive decision. Thank you, Umeshji.
Yes.
What is he
Yes.
saying?
And I'll tell you why
yes.
also.
Yes.
Two reasons. One is the Lagna Lord, Venus has gone into the 10th house, which is the highest position. So the question was all-time high. And yes, and that's with Sun also having a Dikpada. And the second reason is look at the lords of the 11th and the second and the 11th house forming a Dana Yoga in the 9th house. So for those reasons, I would say yes.
Okay. So the Lagna Lord going to the 10th, very close to the MC. And what was the second reason? I missed that one.
There's a Dana Yoga being formed in the ninth house with the laws of the 11th and the 2nd.
Yeah, very positive. So look, this is a yes chart. This is assuming that we picked the right lagna, which I think we did. So Dan, I think we're gonna say yes,
I have this,
with some degree of maybe 80%. I'm gonna say Umeshi saying yes.
I have this feeling that if it does, it's gonna be like some kind of illusion because Neptune's exactly on the MC and the yogi has his head cut off because that's what Algol is about. It's the Medusa's head cut off. And Rahu always symbolizes desire. And also Mars is the 12th lord placed in the first. And so what I'm worried about is if it does reach that, it might plummet right away, or it's going to be some kind of illusion or something. There's
Okay.
something negative about this.
Good
Yeah,
qualification.
the reason is because the Ketu is in the Mercury's nakshatra, and the Ketu is of a yogi.
Okay. All right.
Simonji, I have a different opinion here.
Yes, please, Nikhil.
I think this is a very stunning chart in the sense that if you remember, we had seen Ethereum's birth chart using one of the times that was given. And there was this tremendous confluence on Magha on the 4th house. And if you see, the 4th house is again very powerful here. You have a Purnima moon. It's aspected by its lord. And Venus moon also in some ways is forming a yoga, like the general Venus moon combination. And I suspect that could it be that what you had said last time in terms of some government giving it some level of validity could play out here.
Mm-hmm.
So
quite possible.
I don't know if you read
yes.
the news that I think in England or somebody has moved from their, I think one of their things from LIBOR to a Ethereum based blockchain. It's possible that something happens.
Well, we did look at the ETH chart. Fortunately, for whatever reason, I don't have it.
There's just some kind of level of illusion there because even the Lagna Lord's in the Varuna Nakshatra, and even Varuna rules the oceans and illusion, and there's Rahu, Neptune, there's Algol, there's Varuna, there's so much.
Some cover up, some things covered. Okay. Anyway, the thing is, when we get into these charts, sometimes we can see a lot about what's going on with the company. Like when we did Cardano's chart, it was so clear. Or when we did a question about Cardano, so clear about what their vision is, what they're trying to accomplish. And we had a good idea of where it's going, which is why Cardano is, one of our recommendations, long-term hold. You're right. This does look like a stunning chart, but what Nadia is saying is there's maybe some hopium here. There's maybe some things are being covered up that aren't yet available to the public. So look, will it hit $2,000? Yeah, well, it's gonna go back up. It's gonna get close. Yes, I think it probably will. But is Ethereum one of our moon coins that's gonna 10x? I don't see that yet.
It's definitely a stunning chart. It has Raja Yogas, Dana Yogas, the Lagna Lord in the 10th. There's, the 4th Lord in the 10th, the full moon, the Yogi in the Lagna. But it's on the surface, it looks amazing. There's something shady about it.
Okay, I'm gonna come in here and remind everyone that the coins move as Bitcoin moves, right? Mostly. So if Bitcoin continues, see, Bitcoin went down, retraced, of course, Ethereum retraced, right? In a sense, all of the coins, this whole market is being controlled. Yeah, unless it's Cardano, right? Unless it's Cardano and maybe a couple other smaller coins that seem to not get affected. But mostly the market gets affected by Bitcoin. So what we really should be looking at is, as we've looked at previously, is when will Bitcoin move again? And one of the things I mentioned that kind of stood out to me was when Jupiter transits this Venus, Bitcoin's Venus, that should be some pumpitude, okay? And when did we say that is? That's 6 degrees Aquarius. Let's take a look at, because I think the question is, again, when we're confused, pull back. right? So I'm confused now. Like and I don't like, I like to see things very clearly. And if I don't, you know, I need a solution. So I'm going to pull back and go, okay, let's look at what Bitcoin is doing. And when Bitcoin is going to have that carte blanche to just explode again, because as it goes, everything else will go, I think. So let's see. When will Jupiter hit 6 degrees? Why are we in 2020? Hold on a second. Let's go real time. Let's go to apologies here for the it's going to take just 1 minute here. Let's go one more week, 2 more weeks. All right, May. Yeah, around mid-May. That's right. That's when we said. I think this next bull thing explodes middle of May, and then May, June, July. I think this summer is going to be popping. Okay, and I think that's when that's when everything, the whole tide, you know, the rising tide lifts up all boats, right? Bitcoin is that tide. So what is it now? March, April. So that's 2.5 months from now. And that doesn't mean we're not going to see some big news, ups and downs, but I think that's a decent time to shoot for. Maybe I'm not seeing other things that may cause it to go down or up between now and then, but this one is pretty simple. When Jupiter transits its Venus, it's running a Venus period. It makes sense to me that mid-May could be good. All right. So look, again, Ethereum is a good long-term hold. It gives us exposure to NFTs. It gives us a lot of, it gives us interest if you're holding it on Celsius. So the big picture I'm looking at is, when will Bitcoin really begin to move? Because as it moves, it'll bring everything else with it. Now, I'm not talking about Bitcoin dominance. That's a separate thing. Those of you who know what I'm talking about there, you know that as Bitcoin dominance rises, the altcoin prices go down, right? That's Bitcoin dominance. So when Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoin prices go up. But that's a different thing. I'm just talking about the price of Bitcoin here.
I mean, can I ask a question, a crypto question?
Yeah, please.
So as you know, I'm not a crypto expert, but say if I'm holding Ethereum and I heard that gets Ethereum 2.0 is coming out. So do we automatically get upgraded to Ethereum 2.0, or is that a separate coin?
No, it's the same thing. It's just
Same thing? Okay.
it's like, yeah, it's just an upgrade. Well, not just, it's a huge upgrade, but I think when we looked at Ether, we looked at all of this before. It didn't look like it's happening anytime soon. I think end of the year, September, October, November, I think is when we were looking at. So
I think, Simonji, the date was February 2022 was when that Magha was getting activated in Ethereum's birth chart.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was going into Moon Jupiter, and all of that was in Magha.
Right. So then, see, why don't I have that chart? So then Moon Jupiter, that should explode Ether's price. I remember us saying that.
Yes.
I remember me saying when Ether hits this, guys, it will explode.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, so then that's the long-term picture, guys, is I think if you're wanting to invest in something that's going to do well in the near term, then maybe get out of Ether and wait till, a little bit later, because next February I think it's going to explode. Then Ether will burst through, I think it'll burst through 10,000. So we got a year for that, though. All right.
I'd also heard you mention, Simonji, once that you see some problems in Bitcoin post 2023. Was that something to do with the main chart or a Prashna that you had pulled?
That had to do with the Pluto transit, and yeah, the slow transits over Bitcoin. I think after 2023, honestly, my feeling, this is just a feeling, is that Cardano will become the Bitcoin. That because Cardano is now, I'm not a technician, I don't know, but judging from every chart we've pulled on Cardano, it looks like it wants to take over the world. It looks like it wants to be the democratic choice for information and data transfer. And I think at that time, Bitcoin will be replaced. It'll begin the replacement. It's like AOL. You know, AOL is the big daddy for the longest time, right? And then something else comes along. Yahoo comes along, then Google comes along, and AOL is gone. So I think something like that is going to happen to Bitcoin. So I'm not with Michael Saylor and these people who say, no, I'm going to hold it for 100 years. I think technologies continue to improve, and it's like saying, I'm going to stay with the internal combustion engine for another 100 years. Well, no, there may be improvements on it. In 50 years, we may all be electric or water-powered cars or whatever. So I think that the most likely, in my mind, replacement for Bitcoin will be Cardano. That's the one that seems to be, that's where Hoskinson, because when we've looked at the charts, like I see the vision of this project is to take over the world. And so they're not interested in, you know, tomorrow pumping the coin or the next day or whatever. They're interested in completely being the big dog. And so, yeah. But between now and then, you know, the next couple of years, certainly Bitcoin is the one that moves everything else. So we have to look at Bitcoin. And my prediction, if you don't know or if you're new, is Bitcoin will be between 60 to 70 this year comfortably, and quite possibly and probably getting to 100, even a little above, and then coming back. So, but I think 60 to 70 will be its comfortable range. And if you want to take profits at that point, you know, when it hits 70 or 65, that's up to you. But, you know, I'd probably take a little bit. I'll take maybe 5-10%. Or just put in a sell order at 99,000. Why not? So, okay, there are a lot of questions about Polkadot. Can we look at Polkadot? Does anybody remember what we've talked about Polkadot before? Do I have its chart? Because at this point, I'm getting a little...
Actually, Polkadot was, the chart was pulled by, this was pulled by Abhijit ji, you know, when you were out in Hawaii.
Okay.
So this, he had pulled this chart, this was, I think, on December 11th. So, you know, that is the chart. I mean, if you'll have to go and see the video, that should be there.
Okay.
So he had pulled a chart of will Polkadot hit $100, and there were a lot of positive things for that. And that time Polkadot was at $4.
Yeah.
So then it's gone to this. So it was a very positive thing. And he had given an 18 months time frame. So this was, say, if you're December calculating the 18 months time frame of
next spring.
Next spring. Yeah, so that would be May of 2022. It would hit $100. Yeah,
I have 100% faith in Abhijit Ji, so I'm deferring to him. And look, I love Polkadot. It's one of those my holds. I told you guys I took some profits earlier. I have taken almost nothing out of my Polkadot portfolio. So that's how much because I think it's not even close to where it can be. What is it now? At $1? No, $30? Easily 100. That's my feeling. That's not based on the chart, but hearing that Abhijit thinks so as well. Yeah. So, you know, it'd be a 3x from here. Besides, now we did talk about last week the sound da. Da is gonna be big in the next few weeks. And then beyond that, right? Because Saturn is going to go over that sound and test it, just like it did with, you know, like it's doing with V right now. This other, like Rahu is doing that with V. Saturn is doing it with Da. So the Da sounds that are solid are going to emerge and explode. And polka dot or dot is that sound, even though it's DOT. So I think that also gives it strength. So I'm holding on to Polkadot, even despite this choppy market, which I think is going to last another couple, at least few weeks, couple weeks, possibly longer, and through the end of March. Okay, so I know I'd love to say, yeah, everybody, let's everything's going to go up, buy everything now, ride it out, but we're going to have to be patient. And then when this summer comes, starting mid-May, let's do this. It's going to be fun. It's been fun. January, February has been fun, hasn't it? You wake up, your portfolio is up by, more than you could ever make in a day working. Some of you, your portfolios are up like 50,000 in a day. Like, whoa, how does that happen? By Evo, you have an interesting point. By 2023-24, regulations will come and 99% of cryptos will disappear. It's possible. It's possible. That's why this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is not, buy IBM stock and hold it for 60 years. This is not that kind of revolution. This is a crypto revolution which is constantly evolving and improving. Like every day, new projects come out and improve the lending, sphere, the DeFi sphere, and something that was cool and hip 2 years ago is outdated already. That's just how it is, like iPhones. And maybe in 2-3 years, but I think the innovation is going to stay ahead of it. Look, I don't think this is true, Evo, because if that happens, if regulations come and they ban 99% of cryptos, what happens to the stockholders of Tesla? What happens to the stockholders of MicroStrategies and all these companies who own crypto? In fact, the majority of their holdings are a huge part of it. The government, the US government, couldn't let that happen. People would lose their life savings. You got to think about this picture, and that's why it's good to have these giant companies in the space. Because the more that they come in, Nadia's joining us now. Okay. The more that they come in, the less likely is that the cryptos will be banned. But yeah, entire system will be overhauled. But what does that mean? I think it means something like, yeah, there will be a new player. Bitcoin and some of these older crypto blockchains that can't handle 7 billion people might be replaced. Yeah. So, all right, let's do one last question. And yeah, and I think it is probably Cardano. Cardano's the sleeper. It's $1 now. In 3 years, I think we're all going to look back and go, oh my God, remember when Cardano was $1 and it's 10,000 now? Just like we do with Bitcoin. God, I wish I got into Bitcoin when it was 4 cents. Well, yeah, exactly. So Bitcoin's $1 trillion market. How do they get rid of that? They don't. But all right, let's do one more. And will Algorand reach $5 by 2021? Last one, because I'm not getting very clear charts. Some days it's like this, guys. Some days the charts are screaming at you. Some days they're like, I may or may not want to help you today. I'll go to 5, okay? And that's fine. Yeah, okay. I'm not liking any of the Prashnas today, guys. I'm not, except maybe for the VeChain one, but that was done before. So I got to say what I said earlier. I'll have you guys re-ask these particular ones for another time, because none of these looks extremely like, wow, this is amazing. supremely positive to me. Let's see if there's any yoga with the moon. No. Anytime the Lord of the first and the Lord of the second are 6-8 to each other, the Lord of the second, Lord of the 11th are separating from each other. There's just kind of not, there's not a lot here. Okay, so yeah, so the energy, yeah, you're right. The energy is a little off today, and I don't know why that is. And I think it's the market, guys. I think this market is, it may get worse before it gets better.
It's Mars on Algol.
Ooh, Mars on Algol. Wow. This is if you don't know, Algol is a star that the Arabs used to use to attack, well, the Arabs, a lot of ancient cultures used or kept track of. And when the moon or another planet conjoined that star, it's the star of Medusa who gets her head cut off. It's the star of the ghoul. The word ghoul is directly cognate to this Al Ghul. Ghul is horrible, horror, terror, that which creates dread. That's where the word alcohol comes from. It means demon. Al Ghul and alcohol is the same thing. That which makes you possessed. It cuts your head off and you act like you don't have a head, right? Alcohol. I'm sure we all know about that. Well, Al Ghul is the star of alcohol in the chart. And yes, Mars is there right now. So this, guys, be careful right now. Be careful driving, be careful with anger, be careful to not lose your head. Next week when we come back, we'll come back and hopefully have some good prashnas. And since I'm the head of the group, in some sense, my ability to see these is cut off a little bit. So let's see.
It's Friday night, so maybe try not to drink tonight.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Be careful. Yeah, just this Friday, just pay a little attention.
Especially those of you who have Rahu Ketu prominent in your charts on the ascendant Lord, or moon. Just be careful.
A few things. Oh, some cool comments. Remote viewers say that Cardano is going to be implemented by countries. Yes, I 100% agree. Perseus puts Medusa's head in his bag, indicating bag holders. I love that. Indicating tremendous power in our bags, but you got to be careful how you don't look at it. Okay, so this is the best advice. iPad, whoever you are, I love you. Okay, this is the best advice. I don't know who iPad is. Don't look at it. It's going to go down. Okay, you've got your bags, you've got your portfolio. It's a Medusa's head. It's very powerful. And there will come a time when you can take it out and do some tremendous damage. But right now, just hold on. Don't let the whales push you out of the market. I think this is going to get worse before it gets better. It's a weird time. Oh, and yeah, I was going to say about our WhatsApp. I did not send an email to everybody when I did this prashna. I just sent a voice message to our WhatsApp. And the voice, and so sometimes when I have to send like emergency stuff, it's going to be just over the WhatsApp. So, if you want to not wait till every Friday, that's a good time. And I also have some thoughts about coins that I put on there as well. Yes, Lola, get the WhatsApp just for us. I like the WhatsApp. It's private. It's anyway. I deleted my Facebook account.
Simon, I had an astrological question.
Yes.
Yeah, today, today this Jupiter and Rahu is having a 5-9 trine. If you see it's
Exactly.
21
Yes,
degrees. So
exactly.
is that going to have, because both are expansive, but one is a negative way, one is a positive way. Is there going to be any changes? I mean, in the next few days or something for the market?
This forms what I would term a Guru Chandala Yoga. Guru Chandala Yoga, in a sense, is that, and also Mars on Algol means don't listen to gurus and pundits for like the last day or two and the next couple of days. Even people like me as well, as teachers, gurus, pundits, just make your own damn decisions for the next couple of days. Keep your own good counsel. Guru Chandala Yoga means a lack of trust in authorities. Fortunately, this will be short-lived, just another couple of days. Okay.
Thanks.
A lot of you are talking about the Telegram group. I know it has some advantages, namely that you could see all the chats. There's some disadvantages too, and for right now, I'm going to keep it to WhatsApp, but I've thought about it. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, the group is 12 p.m. Arizona time. 12 p.m. Arizona time. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I know it's a kind of a weird day today, but look, the takeaways, if we were to just do the Cliff's Notes, VeChain. Okay, VeChain looks solid. What else? Cardano is a keeper. Polkadot is a keeper. What else? And waiting for this summer for the beautiful for a pump, we hope.
Did you talk about Mercury and being combust and planetary war with Venus? Because I missed that.
We have not talked about any of that. No.
Okay, next time.
Next time. And Voyager long term, Lynn, we're very bullish. I think so when we did this, it was about a month ago. So we said 3 months. Major news, I think, is coming out for Voyager in 3 months, like major adoption, which should reflect very well on the price. So that's in another couple months, basically starting this summer. So still bullish on Voyager. So if you have it, I would hold on to it. I actually sold a little bit at $7. I took a little bit of cream. If you're just starting out, if you don't have any Voyager, there may be better options for you. I don't know. Should you buy Voyager at $7? I don't know. Look, I think we're going to be choppy for the next couple of weeks, so I would wait for a low point. Okay. All right. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. I love you, and thanks for bearing with me on this Friday or Saturday, as it may be for some of you. And and hopefully we'll see you next week, and if not, in the WhatsApp group at least. All right. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. All right, guys, we reset next week. We're going to do some awesome prashnas next week. I'm gonna make that my goal, to have some real solid prashnas and questions answered. All right. All the best till next time. Namaste.
Thank you, Simon.
Namaste, everyone.